Carson, what is the most common indoor plant problem?
Oh, Tracy. Cityline viewers have sent me all the problems. Everybody got 99 problems, but today I am not one of them. I am solving the problems for people. So let's talk about brown tips on the leaves. This is the most common problem, and everybody's sending me pictures of their plants at this time of year where browning is happening on the margins. This means that your house has not enough humidity. Now, you may be thinking to me, but we're going into spring, it's going to be lots of humidity. In the winter, when your forced air is on, heating your house, your plants dry out. Easiest tip, don't go misting them like this. Misting is bad. Misting actually dries out your plants faster because you can't constantly keep them wet. Even with fancy misters like this that spray mist all the time, it doesn't work. Instead, there's a couple of easy fixes. The first one is just get a tray like this. And in the tray, I'm going to set it down here. In the tray, you put rocks in, and then you're going to fill this with water. When you put your plant on top of the tray, it actually, as it evaporates and the moisture comes up, it creates a little bit of a dome, a humidity dome for your plants. Now you may be saying to me, Carson, I've got a huge plant, that doesn't work. You got a huge plant, definitely get a humidifier, put it near the plant, but just don't have it spraying on the plant directly. Another big one right now is yellowing leaves. See how these leaves on this little plant are starting to go yellow on the inside? This means a lack of minerals, a lack of nutrition for the plant. And you can tell this plant isn't even, it's bursting out of the pot, it's needing to come out. So changing the soil is really important because this guy is getting root bound. He's really busting out of there. He needs some fresh soil. So changing the soil, adding some fresh potting mix in and repotting it up is a great way to add more nutrition to your plant and give it the healthy nitrogen that it needs. The nitrogen is what's going to help get it a little bit more greener, get rid of the yellow from the leaves itself.
Ooh, I like that. It's like going up a size for your jeans. Like, don't fight it. It's okay. Just go up a size. Do the thing that's going to make you fit.
Stretchy pants.
Yeah, or stretchy pants.
Exactly.
Okay, what is the next problem that you want to deal with?
I get a lot of calls right now or emails about lemon trees and lime trees. This is a perfect example. All the leaves have fallen off of this particular plant and people get very nervous about it. These plants in our homes naturally do this and they drop leaves just before they flower. So do not panic. As long as the branches are still green and healthy, then there will be new leaves growing out. The difference though is this guy here. This is not a pretty picture, but it's pretty common for a lot of people when all the leaves fall off on the bottom and you only have a few leaves up at the top. That's an immediate indicator that your plant is not getting enough sunlight. Here's another example of the same thing. You see all the leaves at the bottom turned yellow and they're all falling off, but at the ends it got green again. That means this plant for a while didn't have enough sunlight, then it got moved to a sunnier spot. Now all the leaves are growing at the end of the plant. The bad news? You will never get leaves at the bottom of the plant again. So what might have been once a bush is now going to be turning into a tree. It's okay, it's just a different plant for your space.
Okay, oh, that's good to know. That is excellent to know. Okay, next we're going to be dealing with orchids, which I think is great because people get them often as gifts. I tend to kill them. Please talk to me about how to nurture them best.
All right, let's start with a healthy orchid. This is a healthy example of an orchid, and people are always talking to me about these rootlets coming out, and they think, oh no, my orchid needs to be repotted. These are aerial rootlets. These are specifically designed by nature to absorb moisture from the air around it. These don't want to be in the flower pot. They want to be on the outside. So if you see these on your orchid, it's a good thing. It means your plant is happy. If, however, your orchid looks like these guys here, we got some serious issues. Now I'm going to pull this one up, Tracy, so you can see it. Yeah, that's not healthy roots. That's dead. So we got a lot of death on this particular plant. There is a point, though, of replanting your orchids and doing it properly. Now, for me, I like to use bark or moss. Orchid bark looks kind of like this, and the reason you use this is because these pieces of wood soak up the water. When you're watering your plant, it's about the moisture being soaked up into this, and then the roots on your orchid absorbing the moisture from the mix that you used. You do not need to have a pot that has holes in the bottom. In fact, this pot has no drainage holes. Fill it with the bark, fill it with the moss, put your orchid in, but be careful about watering it. If you overwater it, just hold the plant, dump the water out, because you just want a little bit of water soaked up in the bark so that your plant has access to it as it needs it.
Ooh, good tips there. Okay, finally, let's talk a little bit about keeping our plants looking shiny. What tips do you have for us?
Everybody thinks shiny leaves is a sign of a healthy plant, and unfortunately social media has really driven that. In fact, if you go on social media right now, you're going to find all these different recipes for how to clean the leaves of your plants. The real answer, a little bit of soapy water. Don't use anything else. Any of the mineral oils, those types of things will actually clog the pores on the underside of your leaves, so your plants can't actually respire, they can't breathe. Instead, just go with a little bit of organic soap, just a little drop or two on a cloth, wet, and then just wipe down the leaves. Your plants will be so much happier. Now they may not be high gloss, but they'll give you flowers, which is really what you're growing them for in the first place.
Okay, so the shiny leaves are something you should try and get done. I thought you were going to say it's purely cosmetic and the plant doesn't care, but the plant does care if the leaves are shiny.
Well, the bigger issue is the plant is usually not shiny because it's got a layer of dust on top of it, especially in my house right now,
Yeah.
and the dust is not the good thing. So really you're just cleaning off the dust that maybe you didn't get to.
That is fair enough. Okay, great tips as always. Thank you, Carson.